What is going on, Dragon Ball fans? Welcome back to another Dragon Ball fan manga review, where today we're going to be reviewing Dragon Ball New Age's upcoming Elijah arc, created by Malik Studios, as Dragon Ball New Age encompasses the storyline following the events of Dragon Ball GT, as we're going to be entering a post-Rigger story arc in which heavily focuses on the Black Star Dragon Balls. And for many years now, I've been reviewing all kinds of different Dragon Ball fan mangas and concepts put out there by the community, which ultimately encompasses a different vision in the world of Dragon Ball as we dive into Dragon Ball New Age manga chapter number 15. And again, if you guys love Dragon Ball and are new to this channel, don't forget to go on ahead and smash that subscribe button alongside enabling all notifications by clicking that bell icon. That way you guys can be notified whenever a brand new video is posted onto this channel in connection to Dragon Ball news, information, updates, and spoilers. Hashtag notification squad. Follow me at Twitter at UnrealEntGaming for more information such as this, as the current events of Dragon Ball New Age take place after the great battle between Rigger and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, with a new enemy having to be introduced, as the manga chapter leaves off with the Elder Kai having to warn our heroes about using the Dragon Balls any further, in particular the Black Star Dragon Balls. As we kick off Dragon Ball New Age manga chapter number 15 with the Elder Kai having to warn Son Goku in not using the Black Star Dragon Balls due to the overall idea of their cause and effect, as the Elder Kai goes on to say, "No, have you not listened to any of my concerns on using the Dragon Balls? I swear, sometimes you Earthlings can be so aggravating," with Goku having to say, "But why? I mean, we've only used them once before, so why?" with the Elder Kai having to say, "You heard me, no using the Black Star Dragon Balls," with Goku having to continuously ask the Elder Kai as to why, with the Elder Kai having to say, "These Black Dragon Balls are just as dangerous as any other set before them. I had hoped the Shadow Dragon debacle would have taught you a lesson," with Goku replying by saying, "But they won't make Shadow Dragons, what's the problem?" and the Elder Kai having to say, "The danger doesn't lie in the frequency of the use, but the use of them at all," in which the Elder Kai prohibits Goku in even using the Dragon Balls at all, as he goes on to say, "You see, the original Dragon Balls were created by a good-hearted Namekian, the one you call Kami, but these Black Dragon Balls were created by his other half, the evil Piccolo, and this fact alone makes them fundamentally different than any other set of Dragon Balls," in which Elder Kai goes on to explain the negative and the positive energy that emits from the Dragon Balls, and saying, instead of dispelling negative energy like the regular Dragon Balls, the Black Dragon Balls act in reverse. They feed on and absorb living positive energy from their surroundings, and the differences don't stop there. While they carry the capacity for good, doing good will tax their powers, as their very nature is inherently evil. When they grant an evil or selfish wish, the power required is much less, but granting a good or selfish wish will cause them to devour even more energy in turn. In short, this inevitably means that the more good you use them for, the more damage they will eventually cause. Piccolo's hastiness has caused unforeseen issues, as the narration goes as follows: whether it be the mixture, their hasty creation, or Piccolo's evil nature in general, the Black Star Dragon Balls are not tied to his life. They are instead fueled by life itself. In a cave with so little life, it's no wonder they were dormant for so long, which in turn ultimately means that the Black Star Dragon Balls do require life itself, as they do feed on the energy of life in order for the Dragon Balls to be fueled. As we also pan to Gohan, as Gohan seems to be there present with the Elder Kai, as Gohan says, "So these Dragon Balls don't disappear if the creator dies, and as long as they have energy to feed on, they will never go away," with the Elder Kai having to say, "Precisely, they are quite superior to the original Dragon Balls in that matter. It is both their blessing and their curse." It also explains their abnormal wish granting power. Under normal circumstances, Dragon Balls can only grant wishes within the power of the creator, but fueled by Earth's now limitless energy, the dragon within is exhibiting the ability to grant wishes that should be far beyond his capabilities. As Bulma goes on to say, "Wait, you said they cause damage when they're used, right? Then how come we haven't seen it?" with the Elder Kai having to say, "Well, ask Trunks. Surely he thought it was odd to find them in areas devoid of life, dead trees and no animals to speak of, and that was with a few simple wishes." Now imagine a few wishes that tax their powers to their limits. All life on Earth can be drained without warning. Can you call yourselves heroes if your good intentions wind up killing your own planet? With Bulma having to say, I never would have thought of that," as Trunks panics and the Elder Kai having to reply by saying, "Are you that dense? Have you forgotten that I've already told you no more using the Namekian Dragon Balls after the disaster you unleashed on your own planet? referencing the Shadow Dragons and saying, do you want to unleash 7 more Shadow Dragons, each far more powerful than the ones you faced before? With Kai having to say, I'm sorry, but Elder Mori has already agreed to my terms. The Dragon Balls are not your all-purpose reset button anymore. At some point, even for you, death is going to have to mean death. As Kibito walks on by and saying, great ancestor, I believe that in return for their help in the past, we can grant them some leeway one more time. As Elder Kai kind of wonders to himself if in fact he wants to go on ahead and do such a thing, as he goes on to say, alright, very well. Which in turn, Elder Kai goes on to say, listen, the risk of new Shadow Dragons is too great, and at least if we make only one wish, we can minimize the nasty side effects of using the Black Dragon Balls. You should only be able to use them in a little over a month to revive those who have been killed, but only this one time. After this, death will be for keeps, with Goku having to say 1 month, and what is it we do about Goten and Oob until then, with a voice having to reply by saying, leave that to me, accommodations have already been made, and the boys are in good hands, with Goku having to say, wait, I know that voice, Lord of Lords, Kaio-sama, is that you? With King Kai having to say, bingo, Lord Emma actually pulled some strings for me and sent me the boys' bodies and all to the upper world. Watch out though, in a month I might be able to make them even stronger than you, Goku. Which of course Goku goes on to laugh and saying, I wouldn't mind that one bit, don't take it easy on them, they could take it, train hard, and we'll see you in a month. Which I ultimately agree with the idea in having Goten and Oob actually train with Kaio-sama and learning potentially new things, as Goku even says it himself for Kaio-sama not to take it easy on them, as we pan back to Kami's lookout as Mr. Popo says, can Piccolo even remember? With Piccolo having to say, vaguely, it happened so long ago, I had almost forgotten. It happened shortly before my dark half was imprisoned centuries ago, as we have a recap as the narration goes as follows. He was compelled to forge them by a deep-seated desire to do so. He didn't even really know why, but only by doing so his impatience took hold and he rushed their completion. In only 80 days he finished them, and almost immediately they turned to stone. He had no idea the onyx pearls he had forged had become stones. Believing that they would be a failure, he sealed away the balls within the forge and forgot all about them, as did I. Never once did we think of the power he created that day. As both Piccolo and Popo are reminded by this, as Popo says, indeed, most dreadful, as Piccolo says, but if there is one thing this experience has taught me, it's that I cannot sit idly by as others become stronger and I don't. As we transition 2 weeks later, with Kaio-sama having to tell both Goten and his students and saying, nicely done boys, alright, now for this next exercise, Oob will sit this one out. As for Goten, I have arranged a special sparring partner for you. With Goten having to say, wait, sparring partner? With Krillin having to appear by saying, what's up, hey guys? As King Kai goes on to say, oh, and Goten, you cannot become a Super Saiyan, the training will be better that way, as we get to see Krillin spar with Goten, in which I do like the concept and idea of having secondary characters actually do something for once and being relative to each other. With Oob having to talk to King Kai and saying, Lord Kaio, Krillin has gotten a lot stronger than I remember. What kind of training has he been doing? With King Kai having to say, oh, Oob has noticed indeed Krillin has far surpassed his limits since coming here. I dare say at this level of training, next to Son Goku. With King Kai low-key having to say, Krillin is my greatest pupil. With Krillin having to look at Goten and saying, phew, you're tough. I haven't worked this hard in a while. I gotta use tenfold Kaioken just to keep up with you. As we also get to see how Goten seems to be very tired, in the idea that here, Krillin seems to get the best of Goten while Goten is in base form, with Krillin having to say, well, breaks over round 2, with Goten having to say, if you're using tenfold, why aren't you out of breath? With Krillin having to say, well, it's strenuous, but it's not my limit. With Krillin having to say, in fact, if I went all out, I could probably fight you as a Super Saiyan. With Goten having to say, what? Really? With Oob even having to say, impossible. A Kaioken to that degree would be lethal. With Krillin having to say, you're right, a Kaioken amplified to such a degree, even at your level, would be fatal. But I wasn't talking about using Kaioken, and you see, one thing the old Turtle Hermit Master impaired to Son Goku and I was in our old training was building on the basics and fundamentals. Did you know that he never taught Son Goku or I a single technique, but instead we used his principles and devised our own techniques? I've done the same with Kaio-sama's teachings. I've taken the Fist of the World style and built on it. As Krillin goes on to say, and that's how I came up with the Spirit Fist, as he powers up with Goten and everyone there having to seemingly be so shocked that Krillin has become this strong, with Oob even saying, what in the world, his power shot way up, it's becoming more like a Super Saiyan. As Krillin goes on to say, this is Seishinken, unlike the Kaioken, which takes out all of your Dio, the red chi energy in your body and amplifies it. The Senshiken works by drawing upon your blue life energy, giving you a massive explosion in power. As King Kai goes on to say, as you can see, when the laws of mortality do not abide, your limits are merely a paper ceiling, with Krillin having a power down and saying, Kaio-sama is right, I could have never have reached this level when I was alive, with Kaio-sama having to reply by saying, if Krillin, who once couldn't even hold a candle to Super Saiyan, can now generate a power similar to one, imagine the heights that one can reach, such as yourself. But our time before you return to life is short, there will be no more slacking. You must learn in a few weeks what it took Son Goku months to do. In every way, you will be able to be better than you've ever been, mentally and physically. You'll be pushed to your limits beyond and then beyond again, and even beyond that, better than your very best, better than even your very, very best. In the idea that even if Krillin can become this powerful on his own with King Kai's training, one can only imagine as to how strong Goten can get, since he himself also has the ability to transform into a Super Saiyan. As we pan out with the narrator having to say a place where nothing bad could happen, but even in a place such as this, bad eventually finds its way in, as a hole of darkness opens from out of nowhere, and we get to see how the narrator goes to say, Planet Shasu, a place where nothing bad could happen, now has the worst kind of evil setting foot on its land. Like a fox in a chicken coop, they have no hope of straying off what comes. Weep for these poor people, for a demon drawn by a ravenous hunger walks among them. And it looks like this demon here is going to have such a negative effect as to the outcome of what's going to happen, as the idea of this mystical being having to approach a land where nothing bad could happen foreshadows many things to come, as Dragon Ball New Age manga chapter number 16 is entitled The Secret of the Sage Namek, as we understand that not only Goten and Oob are being prepped to potentially become stronger even than Goku, with even someone such as Krillin, who is now relative to a Super Saiyan, has managed to get stronger on his own, as we also get to learn a brief history, a brief moment in time in which Piccolo himself remembers briefly about both the positive and the negative effects of the Earth's Dragon Balls, and of course the Black Star Dragon Balls as well. So this story concept picks up on the idea that there is a demon, a very dark and sinister being that looks to be on the loose somewhere on some remote planet, and of course with the outcome having to affect the Saiyans and Goku now, one can only question as to what this entity is going to be, how powerful he's going to become, and what the overall backlash is going to be once he makes his presence known to our characters. So post your comments down below, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed and are ready for Dragon Ball New Age manga chapter number 16, go on ahead and slap a like down below. If of course you guys are new to this channel, don't forget to go on ahead and punch that subscribe button and enable all notifications. That way you guys can be notified whenever a brand new video is posted onto this channel. Hashtag Dragon Ball Squad. If you guys also want to go on ahead and check out the previous Dragon Ball New Age chapters, you guys can go on ahead and visit Malik Studios at deviantart.com, twitter.com/Malik Studios. He is the creator of Dragon Ball New Age, a very talented artist in which created Dragon Ball New Age many years ago, and is currently revamping the series as we speak. So make sure to go on ahead and show some love to Malik. And of course, if you guys want to see something in specific from him, go on ahead and let me know down in the comment section below. Tune back in for more. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll be seeing each and every single one of you guys in the next Dragon Ball fan manga review. Have a great day, everybody. Peace!